Today, I am talking about a city that is about as close as you can get to downtown Birmingham and to the airport and still be in a suburb right outside the Birmingham city limits. Hi, my name is Dana Belcher, and if this is your first time to this channel, living in Birmingham, Alabama, please subscribe to my channel, hit like, and also hit the bell notification so that when I bring a new video out, you'll be the first to know about the current market in and around Birmingham, Alabama.
When people move to Alabama, there is one city that is almost always on their list, and that is because of the proximity to downtown Birmingham. It's one of two cities that offer you the closest or the shortest drive time to UAB, to downtown, or even to the airport. I'm talking about the city of Gardendale. It has a population of about 16,400, and in some of my other videos, we've talked about cities that have 38,000, 24,000, and 16,000 is quite low, and while that's not a tiny hamlet, it is certainly a smaller city. It definitely gives you the small town feel. The average income is around $75,000 a year. The average sold price that you'll find in the city of Gardendale is anywhere from, I've seen $85,000 up to $850,000 and zooming on up to $3.2 million. Now that is more of a rare residence, but you will see a wide range of prices, and typically a majority of the properties in this area will be single family residences, no condos that you'll find in some townhomes.
So when you're shopping for houses in the North Jefferson area, I want to give you an idea of what you can expect to find. The house behind me is listed for $339,900. This house has 4 bedrooms and 3 full baths. Now, 1 bedroom and 1 full bath is in the basement, so you have a teen suite or an in-law suite when they come to visit you. This house is on the end of a cul-de-sac. It's about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes with traffic from downtown Birmingham, and it has about 2,100 square feet. So just want to give you a few ideas of what you can expect to afford, what you can get for your money in the North Jefferson area of Birmingham. So this home is about 10, maybe 15 minutes from downtown Birmingham. It is north of the city limits of Birmingham. This house is a garden home. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and then it has a bonus room upstairs that could be used as a 4th bedroom. It's $317,000, has around 1,600 square feet. Very large deck in the back. Not much of a backyard on this one. A lot of these garden homes do have nice backyards. Some of them are fenced. This one is not. Really more of a view overlooking the back from your deck. Behind me, this is a garden home in a neighborhood that has a mix of basement homes and garden homes that are built on a slab. So in our area, when we describe a garden home, we are talking about a house built on concrete slab, no crawl space, no basement. In this neighborhood, there will be some other streets with some really large basement homes. The price ranges in this neighborhood can range anywhere from the $245,000 to around $650,000. Toward the back of the neighborhood, you've got some large houses, basements, lots of square footage, finished areas, and those particular houses. So this house is located only minutes from grocery store, nice clothing stores, restaurants, and then it's probably 10 minutes from downtown Birmingham. We're looking at 15 minutes from the airport. This house is located north of Birmingham in Gardendale.
There are several top reasons that I hear from people about why they like Gardendale, where they live, or why Gardendale is on their list. And of course, I've already mentioned one, that it gives you the quickest route to downtown Birmingham, to UAB, to the airport. But it also is one of the least congested drives in. You don't have as much population driving in like you would from South Birmingham. So there will be some people that have even moved to the North Jefferson area, and they moved up from the south, up below Birmingham, from Shelby County or south of Jefferson County, just because the congestion got a little too much for them. And so with 16,000 people in this particular city, And at times you've got 5 lanes down the interstate. Your congestion is not as bad. So that's one reason that people will put Gardendale on their list. Another is that you really do have a small town feel. You've got some annual events that we'll talk about later on, and you've got some mom and pop shops that started here. So really good small town feel. Another reason that people put Gardendale on their list of cities to check out when they're coming into Alabama to make a move is not only the small town feel, not only the less congested short drive to Birmingham, but also you get more house for your money, they say. So your money will probably stretch further for your house budget here. And then not only do you have more house for the money, but you've got a lot of amenities. You really have anything that you would want would be in this North Jefferson area, and a majority of that will be inside the Gardendale city limits. Gardendale is the biggest city out of the 5 cities that I can think of right now that are what I would consider North Jefferson area. And they are continuing to develop. They've got several developments that are ongoing right now with more stores coming in. So you have these stores, you have the restaurants, and you also have medical facilities, and including a freestanding emergency department. So Gardendale offers a lot. It is a small suburb, and it is close to bigger cities with maybe some corporations there. Gardendale is about 12 miles from University of Alabama. You would have about a 15 to 18 minute drive into the School of Medicine. Let's go to the map so that I can give you an idea of how Gardendale lies in relation to Birmingham, how the interstates run through, and I want you to see where Gardendale lies in relation to the state of Alabama in general. So let's look at that map. So to give you an idea of where Gardendale lies, let's look at the map and see. I'm going to draw some things for you to give you an idea of where this lies according to Birmingham. In the red outline that you're seeing on the map, that is the city limits of Gardendale. So Gardendale is right here. I mean, that's just basically the name of it. It's all the red lines. And I want you to see what runs through Gardendale. I want you to see how easy it is to access the interstate. This line here, this is I-65. And as you see, it runs through not quite the middle of Gardendale, but definitely to the side. So that's I-65. And if you're going up this way, that's going to take you to the city of Coleman. It's going to take you to Huntsville and Madison. And city of Coleman's 45 minutes above Gardendale, and then Huntsville will be about an hour and a half above Gardendale. I-65, and then the other big road you're seeing, that is Highway 31, which is mentioned a lot in my videos because Highway 31 runs through Alabama. It was the old, highway system, and that was a major highway running through Alabama. So the major downtown part of Gardendale, or the major city area of Gardendale, that's going to be right here. This is where you're going to see a lot of the commerce, a lot of the restaurants. You're going to see Publix grocery store, TJ Maxx, Walmart, all of that. And that is off of the exit Fieldstown Road. You can see that Fieldstown Road runs through here. Fieldstown Road is a major intersection of Gardendale, and it'll lead you down Fieldstown Road to Kenny Clemens complex that I mentioned. And so that's Kenny Clemens complex. And then the next exit that a lot of people take is Mount Olive Road. This is the next exit, and that's Mount Olive Road. That takes you into Mount Olive, which we're not discussing, but this takes you also to Bill Noble Park. So as you can see, you see the square here. Basically, you can get anywhere very, very easily. And it's a super easy city to travel, and you're able to get to anything on the medical mile. The UAB emergency department is right off the interstate. It's probably right in this area right here. All right, so now I'm going to zoom out because I want you to see where Birmingham is and some of the areas around Alabama. All right, so now I've zoomed out, and I want you to see how Gardendale lies above Birmingham. Gardendale is this area right here. This is Gardendale. And then here is I-65 and 31. They cross each other a good bit. And then here it takes you right into, you see how close Gardendale is to downtown Birmingham. So very close in proximity to downtown Birmingham. And then, of course, the other interstates that you can access easily from Gardendale. I-65 intersects with Interstate 22. Now, Interstate 22 is a new interstate, and it takes you all the way to Memphis. We were all very excited. We call this the Corridor X. It's the nickname for it, but it is I-22. It takes you all the way to Memphis, and definitely shortened that drive up by about 30 minutes. Real nice. And then another interstate you can easily, just to give you an idea of how things lay, here's I-59 that goes from Tuscaloosa on up to Gadsden. Then the other interstate that we've talked about before, so 65 runs on through, goes straight down. So 65 is the new Highway 31, and it goes from top to bottom of Alabama, from the North Alabama down to South Alabama, and 31 pretty much did the same thing. And then you have 459 right here. So this area below Birmingham, the word Birmingham, all of that is south of what we call south of Birmingham. And then above Birmingham is North Birmingham, and we're discussing Gardendale, which is in that North Jefferson area of Jefferson County, which is where Birmingham is seated. So, let's see if I can, okay, so if you headed on up 65, you would run into Coleman. We will definitely be discussing that in upcoming videos. And then past Coleman, you keep on going up, and you're going to run into Huntsville, Madison, which is another fast developing city that a lot of people like. So, drive times, Gardendale to Birmingham, about 15 minutes. So we discussed that the range of home sales in this past 12 months has been from $58,000 to $845,000. Here is the sold. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, needed quite a bit of work, 976 square feet. And it sold for about $58,000. Needed a good bit. I walked through this property myself. That's a pretty cheap house, but you will be spending a bit. Then the highest sold is my listing here in a neighborhood called Crown Point. And this one sold for $845,000. Basically put it at a square footage of about $280 per square foot. And this was a new house and had a pool and had a lot of fun amenities. It had a great style that people loved. So this one was a very popular one. When it comes to schools, the schools within the city limits of Gardendale are a part of the Jefferson County Board of Education. So you've got Gardendale High School. Gardendale High School has about 1,100 students enrolled. I want to give your parents an idea of the size of the school. And that high school is going to run from 9th to 12th grade. Right beside Gardendale High School is Bragg Middle School. And an enrollment typically would be around 700 students. Then right beside Bragg is Gardendale Elementary. And they would have around 700 students as well. Gardendale Elementary is a big elementary. Now, the city limits of Gardendale have one more elementary, and that's Snow Rogers. And then there are 2 other elementaries that will feed into that, but they're not inside the city limits of Gardendale. One of the things that gives Gardendale a small town feel is, an example would be the schools. Gardendale High School, separated by maybe a street or a parking lot. And what's cool about this is that they're just a short walk to kids' favorite places like Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, the Gardendale Library. There's also Gardendale Civic Center right across the street from the high school. You've got a lot of places that they can walk to, and Gardendale has invested money into developing their sidewalks. So it's a very walkable city. Gardendale is a very community-oriented city, and it has developed a lot of its resources and has a Parks and Recreation department that has developed some great parks, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to go to Bill Noble Park, give you an idea of that new development that just opened up a year ago.
I'm at Bill Noble Park. That is an athletic complex that was just opened up last year. This complex has state-of-the-art facilities. Everyone is loving it. There is something for everyone, something for every sports enthusiast here. It is open to not only the residents, but people visiting from outside of Alabama or from other cities in Alabama. So at this complex, you can expect to find 11 pickleball courts. They're all open air. 8 tennis courts. They're lighted. You will also find 9 baseball and softball fields. They all have synthetic grass. 2 of those are championship fields. And you will also find a football field that is also synthetic grass. The facilities have concession stands, restrooms for the public, stands to sit in. There's also a rentable space for events and office parties. You have a beach volleyball court, a basketball court, and even a fire pit with seating for a small party. Lots of parking, and this is right off one of the exits that you would pass or get off of I-65.
So Bill Noble Park is the newest development, but the city parks offer some other great parks as well. One that I love is called Miracle League, and that provides a field, a baseball, softball field that has a rubbery substance, a rubbery mat that is the field surface. It's not artificial turf, but it is a surface that wheelchairs can manage on easily. Children with physical challenges that might fall a lot. It's going to be a softer space for them to fall. And it's set up for children with disabilities of all kinds so that they can play and be successful at a team. It's a team sport. And then right next door to that is also the Playground of Miracles, but it's a great playground. Has a wheelchair swing. It has other amenities for children that have challenges, and a typical playground may be a little difficult to navigate. So I love that park. It's at Lumen Harris. And then another park that they developed, it's more of a complex, and it's called the Kenny Clemens Complex, named after one of its former mayors. And in that complex, it's more of it does have a lot of things for kids, but it has a lot of things for adults as well. That complex is going to have a disc golf park, which I only know of one other currently in the Birmingham area. And I see that disc golf course used quite often. It has a trail called the Guts Trail. That's the Gardendale Urban Trail System. It consists of 3 miles and 5 trails. And I've researched that a little bit, and mountain bikers have rated those trails as being anywhere from intermediate to difficult, and one being very difficult. So we're talking, these are trails for mountain bikers. Other things that you would find at the Kenny Clemens Complex in Gardendale would be soccer fields. So soccer's big. It's got a very large league for kids, and you'll see them out there on any given weekend. Right there around the soccer field is a park called Celebration Park. And there, years ago, Gardendale opened up the splash pad, where the splash pad was the only one around, and it's free. So people from different counties, from an hour away would travel over with their kids. I mean, we'll do anything that's free for our kids, right? And occupy them while we can sit over to the side and take a break from navigating fights and messes and spills. So Celebration Park has a playground and a splash pad. And then it has flag football fields. So that's pretty cool too. And I don't want to represent that adults can play there, but I think you can. I know for sure I've seen kids playing flag football there. Now, right beside or right outside this complex is another large trail that's meant for walkers, runners, people who are maybe out for a leisurely bike. It was developed by the Rails for Trails Foundation. And this trail is called the 5 Mile Creek Trail. It is 8 miles long, and eventually it can be as long as 27 miles. And so it connects Gardendale to Fultondale. And I don't want to leave off that the Kenny Clemens complex has a dog park. That's very important, I know. And so you've got the small dog park and you've got the large dog park. So you definitely, there's something for any of your canine friends. One feature that Gardendale is proud of is their medical mile. Gardendale has developed quite a bit of medical facilities. I've lived in Birmingham since 1989. I came here to go to UAB, and I jokingly say that I've lived in all four corners of Birmingham. One of those would be Gardendale. And so I've watched Gardendale grow and develop and have all the hospitals have got a satellite office group in the Gardendale city limits. So really, you don't have to leave Gardendale to get to any of your medical doctor's offices. And then in recent years, UAB opened up a remote emergency department. So really nice to have that, along with, I think when I looked at a directory for the medical mile for Gardendale, it was about 5 pages long and listed therapy centers, dentists, doctors of all different specialties, pharmacies. So you really can access anything you need for your health care rather than going to down into Birmingham to one of the hospitals or across the county to another hospital. You've got lots of good options in Gardendale. I tell you, when I was researching some details about Gardendale, even though I have lived in the area for a long time, worked in the area for a long time, found out some details that I thought were pretty cool. And one is that the first homestead was purchased, or farm, rather, it was considered a farm. It was purchased from the government at 12 cents an acre, and that was in 1825. So I don't think I expected that Gardendale steaded in 1825, but I think that's pretty cool. So basically the area was really more of a settlement, and it was referred to as Jugtown. So Jugtown, it was just a nickname for it because there was a jug and ceramic factory in the area. Now eventually someone decided to start a campaign to rename the area, and in 1906 it got renamed to Gardendale. And then in 1955, it was incorporated as a city. So that's the brief history on Gardendale. I mentioned that it's a small town and has that small town southern feel. And some of the things that happen that make me feel that way is that they have several annual events that have been going on for decades, like the Christmas parade. So the Christmas parade is a big deal in the Gardendale area. You have businesses and it's like cheerleaders, other teams, doctors' offices. They will sponsor a themed float. So the Christmas parade, people prepare for it for several months in advance, building their floats, getting the designs right, getting the people selecting the people who will be riding the floats and dressing the part, whatever the theme of the float is. Then Gardendale blocks off several roads and announces for weeks in advance the parade route. It's a big deal. The day of, you'll see people putting out their lawn chairs and marking their spot for where they want to sit to watch the parade. And then, of course, people get there several hours before so that they can get a good seat or a good park right where the parade's going to go through. And I think that I know a lot of cities have parades, but this one seems to be very well. A lot of people look forward to it. It's very well participated in and very well attended. And then another activity event that Gardendale has been having, been running for about 22 years now, is the Magnolia Festival. And that's like a street festival of sorts. It is held at the Civic Center, and then there's a large church across the street that allows them to use part of their parking lot. And that has been running for 22 years. You've got to sign up super early or be ready for the sign up day to go active and jump in there and sign up for, if you're wanting to be a vendor. It'll have art vendors, food vendors, anything you can think of. It has some stages where there will be some acts that will perform bands that will sing and perform. And then you've got more like a carnival atmosphere with some of the rides that kids can be on. It's a lot of fun. It's very well attended. It's a great festival and has actually grown and grown every year. So this video is about Gardendale, but there are actually several other cities that make up North Jefferson. And the other city that you'll be seeing a video on, I want you to go and look for that, is Fultondale. Now Fultondale is between Birmingham and Gardendale, so it's technically the closest city that you can, or suburb that you can live in for your commute to the downtown Birmingham area. But we'll just discuss Fultondale more, and it's also a great city. Some of the other cities would be Morris and Kimberly, Warrior. All of those are areas that people consider to be North Jefferson. So if you're considering a move to Birmingham, then this city is likely going to be on your list to check out when you get here, and we would love to help you with that. You'll be able to see how much house you can afford on your housing budget. My team and I would love to help you as you consider a move to Alabama. Look below, you're going to be able to see our email, phone number, schedule a Zoom. I would love to meet you virtually and answer any questions that you have. I'm Dana, and this is the Living in Birmingham, Alabama channel. Definitely reach out. We want to hear from you.